Hi there, and welcome to another episode of Game Changer. Yes, this is a chance for me to delve into your save. I look at your save and offer some suggestions. Sometimes they could be simple suggestions like tweak your tactics. Sometimes it's look at your save and I might get some different ideas. It's not meant to critique your save. It's just meant to give you a different point of view. And there have been times when I receive Game Changer episodes and there's nothing I can do. It's so good. I still remember that one Game Changer episode where the guy turned his club into $1 billion club, and I was like, so this episode of Game Changer features a manager called Takezo. He's managing with Dynamo Dresden, and well, he's asked me for some help. So what did I find out?
If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification button to stay in touch for more videos like this.
All right, so let's take a look at how you've done so far this season. So you started the season off. Okay. So let's take a look at this club. He's managing a club, Dynamo Dresden. The expectations of this club is mid-table, so I expect them to challenge for the top three spots. Right. So far, you've had 4 defeats this season to Osnabrück, Hamburg, Bochum, and St. Pauli. The thing here is this: when I play against teams like that, you kind of like need to know what your strengths and your weaknesses are. So I went through some of your games, right? So I picked a few of your matches to look through. Like let's look at Osnabrück, right? And look at the situation. You give as good as you get. You're playing a 4-2-3-1. So I'm looking at your players in midfield. You got this guy who's got tackling of 15, and you got this guy who's got no tackling, no sense of positioning. But you're playing him in a 4-2-3-1. This means that this flank isn't very secure. So you got this guy on loan. He's not too bad. Okay, 9. He might track back. He's got some bravery. He might help you cover the flanks. And then we've got this guy whose bravery is only 10. Is he a big game player? We don't know, but this flank is quite weak. Again, you got this guy in front of them who's got no bravery, again, no concentration. So we know that there's going to be an issue on this side of the pitch. Okay. So any players run through the middle, this guy can't tackle, this guy might get pulled out of position, and you're using him as a playmaker. So this playmaker is spending a lot of time defending. Right? So you're going to spend a lot of time defending in these positions. So against Osnabrück, you conceded 2 goals. The first goal, so the question is, how do you concede your goals? Now, there's 2 ways we can find out, right, in this game. They're pretty easy ways. Now, the first way is, okay, we look through highlights like this. So we can find out, okay, fine, you didn't do set pieces too well, right? And then through the break, they go through, and as you can see, this is the space I was talking about, right? This guy won't be tackling very much, and there's this gap between the 2 lines that we don't wanna have. 4-2-3-1, but you're getting this gap between the midfield and the defenders. The gap is being exploited by better teams. You consider a goal. Is there another way to find out this kind of information? Yes, of course you can. You go to the analyst report. Now, when I go to the analyst report, the first thing I see is 11 of a total 35 assists in the last 30 matches have come from crosses. Not too bad. So one of your strengths is to deliver balls that are crosses. But you still got through balls and crosses, so not too bad. Most of your assists come from wider areas and from the middle. Okay, fine. But when you concede crosses, 1/3 of all the goals you have conceded have come from crosses. So I was curious to see how you dealt with a 4-2-3-1. You have played a 4-2-3-1. Now this is important. Chance every 52 minutes is the only one I'm interested in, because chance against every 143 minutes means you didn't allow teams to score a lot of goals against you, but your chance is only 52 minutes. It means that you don't create a chance every game. It's every other game. And this is over the course of about 17 matches. Then when you concede, you allow a chance every 56 minutes, right? So my problem is the most common tactic you face is a 4-2-3-1 white. So it is the tactic that you don't do very well against in terms of creating chances. So the thing here is, why play a system that you're not very good at defending against? Because will need two very hard-working players in the middle. You definitely need two very fast players here. You need to be able to keep the ball, and you need your players to come back, track back, and help defend these areas. If you don't have those kind of players, it becomes a big challenge. And the tactic that you're weakest against is actually the 4-2-3-1. And when I'm looking at your tactic and I'm looking at your players, right? So the players, you got this player is Andre Almada. He's really good. He tries killer balls, tries long range passes. You need to play him in games, but he can't defend, right? Then we've got your Obando is an inside forward, not too bad. Finishing is a bit weak. So we have these questions. So you have an advanced forward in attack. There's nothing wrong with using an advanced forward if you have the space. And a lot of pitches in lower leagues, they're not so expansive, right? They're not so long. They're actually quite short. So there's not much of a difference between an advanced forward and a pressing forward in that case. So you could use either one and you still be okay. Then we have a winger and a wing back on this position, and I'm looking at this guy going overlap right, and I'm going, okay, this is your weak area with Almada, but you're also overlapping. So the moment I saw this, I went like, no wonder you're gonna have problems, because if this guy goes overlapping, he's a more attacking, and you've got an attacking player here, because both your tactics have the same problem, right? You got overlap right here as well. So if this guy goes overlapping, and you are playing Almeida here in this position and he doesn't really tackle, you're gonna have a lot of issues. So no matter what you do, you can be balanced and you're trying to keep the ball, you're hitting the early crosses, you're focusing play down the right, and this increases the mentality of this guy, and you're giving him an overlap. So Almeida is not gonna have fun. He's not tackling for you, and you've got issues. So both these two tactics gave me some concern, and it's not ideal. Now let's take a look at something else. Your finances show that your wage budget is exploding, right? So you're currently spending more, and this is going to keep going down. Remember, if you're going to get promoted next season, you might get the money and this might become moot, but still, I noticed something else. When I went to your scouting center, you have transfers coming in. You have some players that are coming in, and I was thinking, yeah, cool. This might be cool. So I went to look at Marcus Dewars, and I was like looking at the scout report. Ooh. So you signed this player, basically expecting to see something happen to him, but you're going on a wing and a prayer. You went for professional and either foot, and that was I don't know how you judged whether this player was any good. I would recommend fully scouting a player before you sign them, because they're going to just add to your wage budget. Same thing with Mustafa Kapi. You did the same thing here. I would recommend scouting them unless something about their attributes sticks out and you want to sign them, because you're going to be playing and you think that these guys are going to add something to your game. At the moment, what you need is players with bravery. 3-7. You can't be using these kind of players in your decision making 5 to 11. Bravery is very low, right? His pace is only 8. His acceleration might be 12. He's lightweight. He's going to get pushed off the, it's just, people are just going to shove him to one side. Then we're looking at this goalkeeper. Aerial reach is 10. Kicking is 12. One-on-ones is 11. Yeah, pretty average goalkeeper. Jumping is 8 to 11. Not 1.83. Not very tall for a goalkeeper as well. I'd probably cancel both of them, right? Save yourself the agony of using those players. So training wise as well, calendar schedule, right? So I was looking at your last week, right? This week. This is the latest match, and I received your save before. So I know you played these 2 games. Now, this is 1 game. Now, why don't you do something a bit more balanced? Like, in a sense, you got double schedules. Why don't you do match preparation activities? It gives you a bonus before the big games. So what I've done is, this is an example. I'm going to be playing Heidenheim, Darmstadt, and St. Pauli. So what I've done is I've given myself match preparation activities to give me a bonus before this game. I want to win this game, and I want to win this game too, but unfortunately I couldn't do this for this game. I would have gone with match preparation activities before this game is played. In fact, this whole week would have been match preparation, covering all these slots. So you can keep things really simple in this game. You don't have to overcomplicate things. You can use the same schedule and go add match preparation activities before the match. That way, you give your side a bit of a bonus before the big match. So this is what we have to do. We have to find a tactic that protects us against a cross and provides us with at least one clear-cut chance every single game. There are several ways you could set this up, right? First up, you would have to play with shares all the time. You could use your existing tactic if you wanted to. Wait for Burnage to come back, and then you can play this combination: CMD, Burnage, and Almeida in these positions. So you can still play a 4-2-3-1 if you wanted to, right? This way you get this guy protecting, right? And you push Almeida into midfield, right? Where he can use his killer passes. Instead of playing him as a deep line playmaker, now what we're doing is we're playing him high up the pitch where we don't need him to tackle, right? We can retrain in this position and then over time, move him back into midfield. But for now, the situation is we can't have him here because he's going to cause us problems. So this could be one configuration you play a 4-2-3-1 in. You're always using these three players. This gives you another problem. You have to go out there and find yourself another defensive midfielder because Schurz has to play every single game, right? He can play as a central defender as well. So the thing is, Schurz is better as a central defender than he is as a DM. But you don't have enough central defenders and you don't have enough defensive midfield. So what you really need to do is you need to go out there and get yourself. This has to be a priority. You need to find yourself a defensive midfielder or a central midfielder who can defend. That means he has tackling, positioning, bravery to play in midfield as an enforcer. So I had a challenge. I couldn't use Burnage because he was injured. So what did I do? I ended up playing a 4-1-4-1, and this is how we performed. So our first game was against Heidenheim, 1846. We didn't play too badly. We created 3 clear-cut chances and only allowed 1 in. One of the things that's going to happen in our games is we're always going to be attacked, right, by a lot of sides. So we had this, now Almeida is playing in this position, right? So we had a breakaway. This is the play that brings the ball forward. They clear the ball only as far as our playmaker, and our playmaker has, Andre Almeida is basically like a playmaker, right? He's got killer passes, so he has a chance to split the defense open, and he does exactly that, sending God's way on his way to give us the lead. Our second chance actually came from I think there was a penalty. Curtis Jones brought the ball in, and then he was stopped inside the box, and this gave us a chance to get the winner in this game because we conceded 1 goal, but we managed to get the winner from a run by our white midfielder getting inside the box, allowing our fullback to give us a 2-1 win. Our next match was against Darmstadt. We beat Darmstadt quite comfortably 2-0 again. So our next match was against Darmstadt. We beat Darmstadt 2-0. Darmstadt was hell-bent on being defensive. We did play pretty well. We managed to create our first chance through use of the flanks pretty well. You can see our wing-back overlapping on the left flank, coming away free to drop in across to the far post, giving us the lead. To look for the second goal, I basically turned on counter-press because, they were not interested in attacking us. So I decided, well, okay, fine. If you're not going to attack us, then what we'll do is each time we try to attack, if we lose the ball, we're going to try and win the ball back and try and score a goal with that. And that's exactly what we did. A defensive error giving us our second goal. While we didn't win our next 2 matches, we played pretty well. I mean, table toppers Bochum couldn't defeat us 0-0. We managed to move up the table and ended up in the 4th spot when we were in 6th. So yeah, I would have loved to win all 4 matches on the trot. I just wanted to show you an option of what you can do and how you can utilize this play a bit more effectively in a 4-1-4-1. You can definitely still play the 4-2-3-1 if you have your players fit. So these 2 guys are probably going to be playing in your 4-2-3-1, and then you can use this guy as an AMC. But what if you end up in a situation that was faced by me, which is essentially I don't have the luxury of a DM because I have to. Burnage was injured. So this is how I lined up. And I think your players can play this quite well. We had an advanced forward, an inverted winger, a DLP, a central midfielder on attack. Yes, no PIs were used in this creation. A wide midfielder. And I kind of preferred Curtis Jones, although there are other players who can play this role as well, including your fullbacks. Valquist was injured in this game. So normally what I do is I was doing this. I was playing Valquist with Kreuzer. Right, so I get this guy's a fullback and I get this guy's a wide midfielder. So we get a player on who has tackling of 13 and crossing of 13. So this is pretty dangerous having this player on the flanks as well. Then we have Chris Lowe and you got your defenders. I used the Hoban and Ellis as his NC. No nonsense central defender, although you could use him as a ball playing defender if you wanted to. And then we had an inverted winger here. We started with a counter press, regroup and counter. Although if you find yourself in some games where the opposition doesn't want to come out and play, you could counter press by winning back possession and trying again higher up the pitch, always keeping the opposition on their toes. Here, I also use a highlight of engagement, a high defensive line without the offside trap, play out of defense with the hit early crosses, overlap only on the left where I'm using a wing back. This is fairly aggressive, an aggressive option. This would not be possible if I couldn't play with a DM, right? So this is a very aggressive setup. Then we also played with passing directness of mix with a higher tempo. Not too many PIs were used in this time. So yeah, this could be one way of playing a 4-1-4-1, and I think that with your team is not an issue. And in the Bundesliga, there aren't a lot of pitches that are very big, so there's not much of a difference between AF and pressing forward. But if you find yourself on an expansive pitch, then maybe you could change this role to a pressing forward, but you could use an AF most of the time and you'll be okay. And I kind of like this guy's AF. He's very fast, he gets away. Yeah, he could do with some improvements in finishing and composure, but since I started using him, he's done okay. He's scored 1 or 2 goals. The only thing I can think of is, while you have a 4-2-3-1 that's semi-decent with the team that you have, your weakness actually isn't anything else but 2 things. One, you must have an option when you can't play the 4-2-3-1. What other systems can you use, and how can you use Andre Almeida more effectively? What if you can't use him in a 4-2-3-1? Right? He can only play one position in the 4-2-3-1, and that's in the EM slot. So if you can't play him in a slot, what do you do? So this is the reason why I came up with a 4-1-4-1. I could use Almeida, and he could be a lot more dangerous in this setup on breakaways. He will allow us to create chances on the fly, and we can protect him reasonably well, which brings me to my second point. You should try and get yourself another holding midfield or a ball winner in midfield, because this will give you a chance to really exploit Andre Almeida to his full potential and turn him into something of a beast in the final third. These are some of the things that I spotted in your system, and I hope that you found the 4-1-4-1 at least a reasonable system to tide you over until you find yourself another DM. Well, I hope you enjoyed this edition of Gamechanger. If you have any questions, you guys know where to find me. You can always look me up on Twitter at Bustthenet or addicted2fm.com, my website. Once again, I want to thank everybody for continuing to support this channel and make this kind of shows possible for the rest of the community. You guys take care. Have a good one. Stay healthy. Begin soon. Bye bye.